Have you ever wondered if Pontius Pilate wrote a detailed report to the Roman Emperor Tiberius about Jesus, including his miracles, trial, crucifixion, and resurrection? Could this report contain astonishing details not even found in the Gospels? And what does the Pilate stone, discovered in Caesarea Maritima in 1961, tell us about Jesus' crucifixion? Today, we're diving deep into these intriguing questions, so let's begin. A document exists known as the Acts of Pilate. Initially found in an apocryphal book, the Acts of Peter and Paul, supposedly written in the 1st century, it was included intact as an earlier original document, supposedly from Pilate himself. It later appeared in the 4th century apocryphal Gospel of Nicodemus. But is it a factual account, an embellished version by Christians, or entirely fabricated? Scholars remain divided. Some ancient writers believe Pilate did send such a report, and it seems plausible. The report mentions Pilate defending himself to Caesar against Herod Antipas's accusations, a logical reason for writing it. If this detail were fabricated, why include something so specific and plausible? In AD 138, Justin Martyr, an early church father, referred Roman Emperor Antonius Pius to Pilate's report. Justin's exact words indicate that this report was well known around 150 AD and preserved in the imperial archives in Rome for Emperor Pius to read it. Here is part of what Justin Martyr wrote to Caesar, and after he was crucified, those who crucified him cast lots for his garments and divided them among themselves to be satisfied. Another church father, Tertullian, claimed that Tiberius Caesar even tried to have Jesus added to the Roman pantheon based on Pilate's report. While there's no Roman record confirming this, it shows the high regard early Christians held for the Acts of Pilate. Not only did Christians value this document, but enemies of the cross did too. Pontius Pilate's letter to Emperor Tiberius is a critical historical artifact, shedding light on the events surrounding Jesus' crucifixion. Its significance is highlighted by Emperor Maximian's efforts in AD 311 to create a counterfeit version of these acts to undermine Christianity. This manipulative tactic underscores the profound impact the original Acts of Pilate had within the empire. By exploring this document through a series of episodes, analyzing Pilate's words and providing commentary, we aim to offer insight into this pivotal moment in history. Join us on this journey by subscribing to our series, ensuring you don't miss a single episode. We commence with the opening lines of Pilate's letter to Emperor Tiberius. Pontius Pilate to the Emperor Tiberius. Greetings. Recent events in my province have been of such a character that I thought I would give the details as they have occurred, as I should not be surprised in the course of time. They may change the destiny of our nation, for it seems of late that the gods have ceased to be propitious. I am almost ready to say, cursed be the day that I succeeded Valerius Gratus in the government of Judea. It seemed to me that of all conquered cities, Jerusalem was the most difficult to govern. So turbulent were the people that I lived in a momentary dread of an insurrection. To suppress it, I had but a single centurion and a handful of soldiers. I requested reinforcements from the prefect of Syria, who informed me that he had scarcely enough troops sufficient to defend his own province. An insatiable thirst for conquest. To extend our empire beyond the means of defending it, I fear, will be the means of destroying our noble empire. Pause and reflect on the significance of this passage. Pilate's communication to Caesar suggests a startling revelation. Jerusalem's defense rested upon a single centurion within his cohort, typically composed of only 100 soldiers. Valerius Gratus, Pilate's predecessor, expressed his frustrations with governing Judea, considering Jerusalem exceptionally difficult due to its turbulent people. This sets the stage for Pilate's subsequent account of the precarious situation he inherited. Pilate's account reveals the inadequacy of military resources for maintaining order in Jerusalem. Despite the city's potential for unrest, he had only a single centurion and a handful of soldiers. This shortage of troops highlights the precariousness of Roman control in the region and the challenges of quelling potential uprisings. The document also alludes to the broader context of imperial overextension. Pilate expresses concern about the empire's unsustainable expansion beyond its capacity to defend its territories. This hints at the strain on Roman resources and the potential ramifications for the empire's stability. Pilate's apprehensions about the consequences of overextension and the inadequacy of military resources foreshadow the events that unfold later in the narrative. These concerns likely play a significant role in Pilate's decision-making process, including his handling of Jesus' trial and crucifixion. As we delve deeper into the document, we will uncover how this shortage of troops played a pivotal role in Pilate's decision to order the crucifixion of Jesus. Now let's get back to Pilate's words. Among the various rumors that came to my ears, there was one that attracted my attention. In particular, a young man, it was said, had appeared in Galilee preaching with a noble function, a new law in the name of the gods that had sent him. At first, I was apprehensive about his design to stir up the people against the Romans, but soon my fears were dispelled. Jesus of Nazareth spoke rather as a friend of the Romans than of the Jews. One day passed by the place of Siloam, where there was a great concourse of people. I observed in the midst of the group a young man who was leaning against a tree. Calmly addressing the multitude, I was told it was Jesus. This I could easily have suspected. So great was the difference between him and those who were listening to him. His golden-colored hair and beard gave his appearance a celestial aspect. He appeared to be about 30 years of age. Never have I seen a sweeter or more serene countenance. What a contrast between him and his hearers with their black beards and tawny complexions. Okay, we need to comment on this as well, because I believe this is the only recorded explanation of Jesus' appearance in all historical documents. This particular interest is the description of him as having blonde hair and a beard. The inclusion of this detail raises questions about its authenticity. Was it an addition made by later scribes copying the document, or did Jesus indeed have lighter-colored hair and a beard compared to his contemporaries? My guess is it's an add-on by those who copied this document over the years, but we don't know. It's certainly intriguing. Now back to Pilate. Unwilling to interrupt him by my presence, I continued my walk but signaled to my secretary to join the group and listen. My secretary's name was Manlius. He was the grandson of the chief of the conspirators who encamped in Etruria, waiting. Catalina Manlius was an ancient inhabitant of Judea and well acquainted with the Hebrew language. He was devoted to me and worthy of my confidence. On entering the praetorium, I found Manlius, who related to me the words that Jesus had pronounced at Silo. Never have I heard in the Pedico, nor in the works of the philosophers, anything that can compare to the maxims of Jesus, one of the rebellious Jews so numerous in Jerusalem. Having asked him if it was lawful to give tribute to Caesar, Jesus replied, "Render unto Caesar the things that belong to Caesar, and unto God the things that are God's." It was on account of the wisdom of this saying that I granted so much liberty to Nazarene, for it was in my power to have him arrested and exiled to Pontius. But this would have been contrary to the justice that has always characterized the Romans. The man was neither seditious nor rebellious. I extended to him my protection unknown, perhaps to himself. He was at liberty to act, to speak, to assemble and address the people, and to choose disciples unrestrained by any praetorian mandate. But this unlimited freedom granted to Jesus provoked the Jews, not the poor, but the rich and powerful. It is true that Jesus was severe on the latter, and this was a political reason, in my opinion, not to control the liberty of the Nazarene scribes and Pharisees. He would say to them, "You are a race of vipers. You resemble painted sepulchres." At other times, he would sneer at the proud alms of the publican, telling him, "The mite of the poor widow is more precious in the sight of God." New complaints were daily made at the praetorium against the insolence of Jesus. I was even informed that some misfortune would befall him, that it would not be the first time that Jerusalem had stoned those who called themselves prophets, and that if the praetorium refused justice, an appeal would be made to Caesar. However, my conduct was approved by the Senate, and I was promised reinforcements after the termination of the Parthian War, being too weak to suppress a sedition. I resolved upon adopting a measure that promised to establish the tranquility of the city without subjecting the praetorium to humiliating concession. This indicates that Pilate hesitated to crucify Jesus, opting instead to hand him over to quell the political unrest of the time and prevent potential uprisings. Now, let's delve into some artifacts associated with Pilate and examine what they reveal about the death of Jesus. What does the Pilate stone say about Jesus' crucifixion? The Pilate stone, also known as the Pilate inscription, is an ancient artifact discovered in 1961 near Caesarea Maritima in Israel. It is a dedicatory inscription on a limestone block and is significant because it provides archaeological evidence of the existence of Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor of Judea, who is mentioned in the New Testament accounts of Jesus' trial and crucifixion. The inscription on the Pilate stone reads, "To the divine Augusti, this Tiberium, Pontius Pilate, Prefectus Judaeae." Translated, it means, "To the divine Augusti." This Tiberium, Pontius Pilate, Prefect of Judea. Caesarea Maritima is located along the Mediterranean coast of Israel. Caesarea Maritima was a significant ancient city and administrative center during Roman times. The stone was found reused in a staircase leading up to a theater at the site. It was identified by archaeologists due to the Latin inscription carved into the limestone block. If you made it this far, we say thanks for staying. And let's hear about what you think about the acts of the Pilate, whether they're legit or not. Stay tuned. Bye.